Hello YouTube, welcome to my YouTube channel, Anne at Bella, and today I'm going to be doing a somewhat limited review of Midnight Sun. I've only read one chapter of it, and it's a massive book. Here are all the other books in the Twilight Saga, or series, however you want to phrase it. Just so you are aware, Midnight Sun is written from the perspective of Edward Cullen. Its cousin book in 50 Shades of Grey would be Darker, which is written from the perspective of Christian Grey. And it's actually quite nice to have some heteronormative romantic fiction. Yes, we're drowning in heteronormality here. Sorry. That is Twilight. There's nothing I can do, though she did do Life and Death, where she switched the genders around, so the girl was the vampire and the boy was the weak human, which I thought was quite daring, actually, for a Mormon writer. Anyway, Midnight Sun is written from the perspective of Edward Cullen. It is 756 pages long, because Edward Cullen can read thoughts, so we get the thoughts of every single character in this. I've only read the first chapter, but we even get the woman, the admin assistant who he tries to switch out of biology's thoughts of, and most of them are highly inappropriate when it comes to Edward, which is a tad worrying, actually. But never mind. What I do like about the Twilight Saga is the artwork on the covers. So we've got the apple for Twilight. Twilight itself was only 434 pages. New Moon was 594 pages. Eclipse was 628 pages. Then we have Breaking Dawn, which rocks in at 754. Then we have the 10th anniversary book, which I thought was absolutely wonderful, because we were supposed to get Midnight Sun when it was the 10th anniversary. We didn't, because it got leaked online and 50 Shades of Grey kicked off, and I think that basically put her off. It would put me off anyway, if I was writing an original work and then somebody basically plagiarised it and then upped the ages and upped the ante. Anyway, moving on. Life and Death is 387 pages. Twilight in this one is 341 pages in that. It's the exact same story, but it's just how the fonting and the layout has done. Then you've got the Twilight Saga, the official illustrated guide, which comes in at 543. Yeah, it rocks in at 543. Then we've got the short Second Life of Britannia, and that's only 178 pages. That's a little Eclipse novella, so that actually goes with Eclipse quite nicely. Midnight Sun is 756 pages. It's longer than Breaking Dawn, which is the fourth and final book in the Twilight Saga. Midnight Sun is massive, very, very fat, and probably larger than Order of the Phoenix. I don't actually want to compare them because that'll freak me out. So yes, lots of reading to do. I could see how easily it would be to fall into loving Bella. It would be exactly like falling. Effortless. Not letting myself love her was the opposite of falling. It was pulling myself off a cliff face, hand over hand, the task as grueling as if I had no more than mortal strength. Yeah, it is quite dark, to be absolutely honest. I'm loving the pomegranate on the front. Yes, I know we could talk about the fruit. We've got a green apple for Life and Death. We've got a red apple here. Cough, cough, Genesis, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me for coughing. I'm just clearing my throat. This book is dedicated to all the readership, which I thought was lovely. It has exactly 29 chapters and an epilogue. And the epilogue comes in at 2729. Actually, the last page, try not to spoil the ending, is 756, so that's 756. Some blurgle. That's what it looks like without its cover. Yeah, it's a big weighty tome. Overall, I think this book is going to be rather good, but actually I'm rather glad that we've waited so long to see it, because Edward's thoughts are not pleasant. I've only read one chapter and it is pretty monstrous. that being said, everybody's older now, so I think we should probably cope. Yes, it is going to be darker. Boom, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Yes, pomegranates are quite interesting because if you know anything about your Greek mythology, apples are from Genesis, you know, good and evil, knowledge, eat fruit, get kicked out of paradise, Adam and Eve, blah, blah, blah. Pomegranates have an interesting connotation. They're actually to do with Hades, who is the god, the ruler of the underworld. He's not the god of death. He rules the underworld. So he basically rules everybody who's ever lived in their afterlife. So he's the opposite to Zeus. He also is the god of wealth. So he's the god of money, jewels and gems as well. That's Hades. His wife was known as Kor. She was the goddess of spring. After she was taken and made Hades' wife, she was known as Persephone. And that's quite interesting because that's where pomegranates come from. Pomegranates are actually a symbol of marriage and fidelity and all sorts of things. Hera, I believe, has them as a fruit. But with regard to Persephone and Hades, never be a virgin in the middle of a meadow picking flowers. It never goes well, which is kind of ironic, because we end up in a meadow in this. I've just twigged. Anyway, she's picking these flowers because she's the goddess of spring. She, you know, got to work on her floralness. And basically Hades comes up and grabs her, rapes her and takes her down to the underworld. She knows that if she eats any food or drink in the underworld, she'll have to stay there. So when Hermes comes down after Dad Zeus comes together, yeah, I know there's incest. It's Greek mythology, people. You're just going to have to live with it. When Zeus sends Hermes to go and get her, or to at least speak to Hades about it, because basically her mother is goddess of the harvest, and basically everything is dead, and she's basically created the first winter. Hermes comes to get her, and she says, he asks her, have you eaten anything? And she says, oh, no, I'm not eating anything. Cough, cough, she's eaten 7 of these lovely pomegranate segments, and because of that she has to spend 7 months with Hades and then the rest with her mum above the surface. Yeah, so that's some Greek myth for you. Check it out. I just love the covers. Don't they look so classy? You know, classy. Anyway, what is interesting is we don't get a quote. We do, however, get lovely marble statues, which reminds me of Anne Rice. Yeah, I am going to speak about the sparkling. Yeah, vampires do have an alabaster glow, very much like Harley Quinn and the Joker, very much like Louis and Lestat from the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles. If anybody keeps blobbing on about it, go and read your Anne Rice. Yes, I know they don't sparkle and shine how normally, but they do here, and there is precedent for it. So that is that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the rest of this fat book when I can actually hear Edward's thoughts. It's really quite difficult because he has a lot going on in his head, and it's a miracle that he's not insane. Because in season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there's an episode where she gained the ability to hear everybody's thoughts, and it was driving her insane. So Edward must have a real strong strength of will. But then again, we knew that. So there we go. This is the blurb. I can't sleep, I muttered, answering her question more fully. She was silent for a moment. At all? She asked. Never, I breathed. As I met her penetrating gaze, read the surprise and the sympathy, there I abruptly yearned for sleep, not for oblivion, as I had before, not to escape boredom, but because I wanted to dream. Maybe if I could be unconscious, if I could dream, I could live for a few hours in a world where she and I could be together. She dreamed of me. I wanted to dream of her. She stared back at me, her expression full of wonder. I had to look away. I could not dream of her. She should not dream of me. The Twilight Saga. So there we are. I would recommend, actually, some of the words in this are a bit challenging. There was 2 that I had to look up because they were not regular words. One actually has links to golf. So it is a high-level reading book for everyone. Woohoo, because that's what we need. It's not as if we're going anywhere very much, are we? With us staying at home as much as possible when we're not going to work or buying essential goods. like food or getting them delivered. So I hope you've enjoyed my short review of Midnight Sun. Yes, I've burbled about influences and various other things, but it is going to be, I think, a classic. We've waited quite a long time for it. I'm pleased that it's finally here. Actually, when you look over this saga, yes, I appreciate that it is very heteronormative, but actually it comes up with some new concepts, reinvents stuff, and gives things a fresh new twist. And actually what would be really great is if we were actually to see an LGBT plus version of some of this. I think that would be quite cool. And I'm loving the fact that we've got the gender switching in Life and Death between, instead of Bella and Edward, in this we have Edith and Beau, and I think that that is quite a clever thing to actually do, because I don't know any other author that has done that. So yeah, please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on Midnight Sun. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I've only read one chapter, but I'm happy to plough on. Oh boy, yeah. So thanks for the support and stay safe. Bye.